Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here. This time reviewing on the first issue of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures. Now, as you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures is meant to be based on a similar continuity to the 1987 cartoon. And the story was written by Eric Burnham, whose series I did cover, the Beast Wars comics. And it's kind of clear after Beast Wars, you can tell Eric Burnham was moved to another project, which you can tell he's trying to bring up to his next A-game. And the cover has the Turtles getting ready for action, with Bebop and Rocksteady, Razar and Toka, Ground Chunk and Dirt Boss and that, basically getting ready to take them on as well. And the story starts off with April O'Neil reporting the weather, and we see Donatello saying, "Why is April reporting the weather? Don't they have a monitor all-go list? Maybe they, got tired of the rain and stormed out. That was bad even for you." And we kind of see how they can't go on patrol, but decide to do more training and exercise. And of course, we see the Turtles complaining, but we see how Donatello has an idea, which is a VR system, which they can use for their training. But of course, you can tell Leonardo has mixed feelings about this, but of course, they decide to give it a go. And of course, as soon as they get in, their first task will be capturing the flag before they get out. And of course, even have a failsafe device. And as soon as they get in, we see how Donatello's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I know that tree. It's from Spookfield 2, and that bird is from the Doom of the Duck Dodo. Yeah, I kinda used the code from some of your video games as the base of my parts of the simulation, but instead of the bosses from those games, and of course this is gonna be previous villains they've defeated." And we see Leonardo saying, "Let's find out. Turtle power!" Yeah, he can't help but yell that, can he? And we see how the Shredder from that virtual reality is too fast for them, but we see how Donatello does make some mental notes on how to beat him. But of course, we see back in reality, the thunderstorm hits the kind of turbines and that, causing the Turtles to kind of get stuck in the VR system, causing it to go haywire. And turns out they can't get out, but need to kind of get the flag so that way they can get out properly. And Michelangelo learning to his disappointment that he won't be able to have pizza anymore. But of course they decide to head to different games, one of which is a racer from Let's Go Crazy Kart, which turns out the system had kind of went haywire, putting them in different games, with Dirt Boss and Ground Chunk going after Donatello in a racer. And we see how Raphael is kind of having to climb a building from a game called Soda Jerk, and he even breaks the fourth wall, saying, "I never did beat this thing, but I guess there's a first time for everything." And this was kind of a reference in the 87 cartoon, where the Turtles would break the fourth wall every single time. And we see how Leonardo is now in a kind of Street Fighter-like game, and after defeating Baxter Stockman, he now has to deal with Toka and Razar. But of course, we see how Michelangelo is in one of the levels, which is home to Tempesta, who was in the 87 cartoon, and even appeared in Shredder's Revenge. And we see how Bebop and Rocksteady are in the game as the bosses, saying, get them, Rocksteady, throw another bottle of Sody Pop. But Bebop, what if I spill some on my nice white uniform? It might stain. We're the bad guys. We can dress like we fight dirty. And of course, throw a giant pickle thing, but of course crashes onto Raphael. And we see how basically Leonardo tries to take down Razar and Toka, but find out they keep charging their lives every time. And of course, we see how Leonardo tries to use the power-up, and after Donatello gets a sort of winning advantage, thanks to Ground Chunk's carelessness, he manages to win the race. but finds out there's another racing level. And of course, we see how Mikey tries to deal with Tempesta, but of course, remembers a cheat and manages to beat her. And the Turtles basically end up back to the capture the flag level and try to take on Shredder. But of course, Leonardo ends up kind of teleported away and ends up in a kind of racer game. And they find out that Shredder has all the other villains from the series, like Rat King, the pizza-like aliens, also Slash, Rat King, Krang, and Shredder saying, "Do you?" And of course, we also have Scumbug, also Mutagen Man, Triceraton, also Wingnut, and of course, we kind of see how they try to take them down. And of course, have to deal with Leatherhead, and more villains keep coming. And we see Shredder saying, "There's no one left to help you. It's time to meet your doom." And we see how Michelangelo realizes they just need to get the flag, and managing to get it, beating the level. And of course, the Turtles end up back in reality, and April showing up saying that she got the pizzas, as well as a special treat, a new game, which was Flying Rooster 3, as a reference to Super Mario 3, much to the Turtles' dismay. And yeah, this was pretty much the story. I think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures definitely feels like an episode I would see from the 1987 cartoon, because one, you can tell Eric Burnham did well with Beast Wars, and you can tell after Beast Wars he's trying to do something newer, fresher, and different with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but still keeping it with the Saturday morning 87 cartoon. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.